Everybody, it's Eddie Joe in crypto. Hope you're having a great day. So, been reading, just looking at things. Was thinking about FTX, right? And the whole debacle there, collapse, shenanigans, all that stuff. And I sat back and I said, well, how long is it going to be before they start investigating Gary Gensler? I know it sounds crazy, chairman of the SEC being investigated. Why? Well, maybe it's because of all these intertwining connections between him, FTX, and Alameda, of course, and MIT. So I just wonder how that's going to go, and I think that should probably happen. Given the such bad optics that this is causing, I'm thinking maybe he should step down. Take a leave of absence. Till things are figured out. Just putting it out there in the universe. That kind of can be said for Brian Armstrong. I mean, not go away, but take a more pragmatic and focused approach to, recent events, right? Speak about the events from the perspective of your business, focused on your business. Do not tell us what you think could have happened, what you think can happen down the road. If you know something, say something. That's cool. But if you're just kind of spewing nonsense, maybe don't spew nonsense in an industry that's already being hit. Because frankly, if you do that, I'm going to think of you as somebody that just wants to spread FUD about everybody else so that you can do better. In which case, I would not want to invest in you. But seriously, I think, I think you can do better over there at Coinbase. We're not always all going to agree. It's your company. You're going to run it how you're going to run it. You guys put out great product. I just think that some of the recent decisions that you've had have been a little bit more than questionable from an employee perspective, right? Just from a management kind of thing. That's just me. Everybody's got differences. But I think that when you start talking about what somebody else could have done, what you think can also happen from this, we already know that the contagion can spread stemming from FTX. Don't need you to tell us that. That's kind of right there in our face. Don't need you to kind of espouse on, whether or not fraud was committed or not, unless you know for sure, in which case I'd be asking you, how do you know? You should keep that to yourself. Just put that to the side. Focus on Coinbase. Focus on your business. Focus on how your business can stand up to, fear, uncertainty, and doubt stemming from FTX so that the contagion does not hit you. That would be what I would do, right? Talk about things like, oh, we're going to stop trading of FTT, we're going to stop trading of this coin, that coin, to demonstrate that we're doing right. Whatever it is, but keep focused on Coinbase. Don't make the mistake of misstepping out of your lane to talk about somebody else's lane. That would not be pragmatic. Just my humble opinion. As I'm thinking about, what wallets I'm using, where I have my money, where my kids are storing their money, all that kind of stuff makes a difference to us. It really does. Institutional investors, in case you don't realize, are buying in big. Just look at some of the coins that are out there. They're buying in ways that, would make people stop and scratch their head. You shouldn't be scratching your head. You should know that, this is exactly what they're doing. This is exactly how they're going about growing their bag. They're snatching up Matic, snatching up Bitcoin, Ethereum. They're out there snatching. There's a saying that I've heard, and I've been hearing it for a while. It is, you buy when there's blood in the streets, even when it's your own blood. Well, there's blood in the streets. And what are institutional investors doing? They're buying. Maybe not Kevin O'Leary. You can watch my previous video on that. I mean, he's an institutional investor, big investor in FTX. Didn't work out for him. And he's kind of gun shy. I get it. But that doesn't mean the other institutional investors are following his lead. He was trying to talk on behalf of institutional investors. They're not going to do, unless there are rules and regulations and blah, blah, blah. They're out there buying up everything. They're investing. Look at ARK Invest with Cathie Wood. She went out and bought into Grayscale in a major way. That's an indirect play for Bitcoin. Just pay attention to what these people are doing and how they're doing it. You might learn a little something from them, right? Not Kevin O'Leary. I'm just saying in general, we can learn a little something from them. They're saying, yeah, we might be hurting, but we're buying in because we believe they're going to go up. Think about that. Charlie Munger's running around talking about how crypto, comparing it to, all kinds of silly things. I think the old man just likes cracking jokes now. I really do. I think he just likes, getting that sound bit, that sound bite out there, and everybody just running with it, and he just sits back and chuckles. And I'm sitting here and I'm just going, I'm not going to listen to an old man that's chuckling. I'm going to pay attention to what that old man's company is doing, and that old man's company was buying into companies that specialize in crypto. I had that in a video from before as well. Mastercard is one of these companies that's saying, you know what? Hey, we're not worried about this. We're actually optimistic and we're investing. They're investing in the metaverse. They're investing in crypto outside the metaverse. They're doing things. They're doing things within the cryptoverse. That is the world's second largest credit card processor behind Visa. That's huge. They're saying they're not backing down. They're not backing away. Okay? I mean, these are all things that we should be paying attention to. Really and truly. Something else I was listening to or reading about was Solana Foundation and their almost ridiculously sized exposure to FTX. Now, a few videos ago, I mean, you might have to catch it on YouTube, but I mentioned that, there were weird relationships between FTX and some of the players that are out there, like Voyager. You give us some of yours, we'll give you some of ours. You give us some money, I'll have one of my companies give you some money. Just weird financial relationships. Well, I'm going to read my notes. Well, you've got Solana Foundation holds 3.24 million shares of FTX Trading Ltd. Common stock. In addition to that, they own 3.43 million FTT tokens and about 134.5 million SRM tokens. That makes for a very odd relationship. So when I look at Solana Foundation, I know that Solana, the coin, is different, but Solana Foundation, sorry, but it's attached to Solana. That's a ridiculous amount of exposure. I'm paying attention to that. I used to be a huge fan of Solana, the project. Now I'm not. I mean, not because of this. I stopped being a fan a while ago. Too many outages for my nerves. Not going to use them for something that, I can't depend on. And I have a friend that works at a Solana store down in Manhattan. Been meaning to go, just haven't had time. Dying to see what the place looks like, what they're doing. He's got some cool stuff going in there. I think he's the store manager. That Cam guy, in case you don't know who he is. The next thing I want to touch on was the SEC versus Ripple. That case seems to be going on forever and a day, as some of us will say. The reason why is because the SEC has put in so many delay tactics that they could possibly think of that would slow it down. The latest one is there are about 16 entities that are looking to do amicus briefs for the case, both for Ripple and for SEC. They both have companies that are coming to their defense. On the SEC side, I scratch my head about that. I really do. On the Ripple side, they've got some big players that are taking up the mantle for them. All that said, and Ripple has been quietly taking it on the chin, but still moving up. Moves up, maintains, moves up, maintains. So XRP had gone all the way down to 33 cents. I think it might have been lower over the past few days. And it's gone up since then. And we'll get into the numbers. If you're here for the later video, we'll get into the numbers. But these are all things that I'm thinking about as I start to look at, where can I invest? How can I invest? What should be on my dollar cost averaging schedule? Because I look at it every day. I don't make moves every day, but I monitor that every day, and I pay attention to it. And I teach my kids to do the same. Doesn't mean that you have to make a move, but you should be paying attention to what's going on. A little gnat flying around. So pay attention to all these things that are out there, and I hope you really do take the time to do your own research. Have a good one.